Everyone's like, oh, look, here comes Pensy Joe bringing the Pennsylvania stuff because really test LED in the headlight, but we'll take the Citroen. Quite well by all. She's a regular combination. She's all that can Sheet at 10. Proceed to 15. Hey everybody, this is Pensy Joe back again for another video update. What I've been doing lately, and yeah, this is my Spoils of War military train that I'm starting to do. Now, the Spoils of War military train is captured German. A lot of it's going to be experimental stuff. It's like a very late war kind of like regiment that's been caught during the early summer in 1945, and I did a little bit of alt history where Germany went with the E-25s and the E series, or to say what the E stands for, it's Entwicklung, and then whatever number behind it is basically the tonnage. So we saw some E-25s earlier, and then right here we have a Panzerkampfwagen 7, or the Löwe. And here it is, the last E-25 that I was working on. And the paint I'm doing is a summer camouflage that was used in 1944 to 1945. That tan color, a lot of German vehicles were painted in that color. It's a dark yellow color. I use Tamiya paints to do all my stuff these days. I really love Tamiya. Here's a turret, that really iconic, like, rounded turret. It almost looks like a helmet, especially at a side profile. I use XF60. It's dark yellow by Tamiya. It's a flat color. It's a really nice color. I also use Hull Red. That one is, sorry for the creak, I'm still sitting in my chair in the paint room. It's XF-9. Now, Hull Red, when the Germans were doing painting, they used like a Hull Red kind of like reddish color. It is brown, though. It is slightly reddish. It's still like a brown color. And I really like how it gives it like a reddish brown color to the camouflage that I was trying to look at. And here's some tracks being painted that color. Here's the brown being applied. Now the lighting that's in this photo, and you'll see it a lot of photos, it's like a bluish color. That's what my desk lamp light is. Unfortunately, it's not going to be accurate of what it looks like. You will see photos of actual daylight coming in where it has natural light, and you'll see what the effects are going to be. And the last color I use is JN Green XF11, and I found that green to be the best one out of all the other greens I was looking at. And I know it's not probably 100% accurate to what they use, but it was close enough that I was happy with. And it really pops pretty well as a camouflage. Here we are with the finished Panzerkampfwagen 7. I still have to paint the machine gun black and maybe do some final touch-up paints before I put the tracks on. And what I like to do with the tracks, if you have seen in the photo so far, I like to use gunmetal on the ridges of the track pieces so that it looks like they've been worn, where the black paint's been worn off. So they have seen a little bit of, movement, but near the end of the war during the surrendering, a lot of the stuff was just captured. So I have in total like 6 E-25s. And I have 2 Panzerkampfwagen 7s. And as we go on, we'll see more vehicles. Here's some more that I've done, finished painting on the tracks right there. I mean, they look pretty good to my taste and what I wanted to pop out. I even tried to get in between like the road wheels a bit to try and show some wear on the road wheel surfaces grinding up against the tracks. There's a finished one right there, completely done with all the painting. Looks really good. I wanted to make sure these things were clean at first. I'm not sure. I'm not too comfortable doing weathering, like in terms of like them getting dirtied up a bit. Although since they're being transported to like a museum or something like that for evaluation or whatever, they are. I want to keep them clean, pretty much. And here's another Panzerkampfwagen 7 that I have ready, and a Jagdpanther. We're already painting the tracks right here as well. This was a project in a long time coming. If you remember a while ago, I got like a whole bunch of these knockoff like Athearn like flat cars by Eve Models. Um, they're nice. They roll pretty well. The couplers, I gotta swap the Katie obviously. For the most part, they seem to like, you know, stay together well. But I'd rather have Katie. There's the finished turret right there. I like to use them black, flat black XF1 to do like the vision ports and stuff like that. Just to add some more color as well. Here's a finished Jagdpanther with the tracks on. I'm not gonna put skirts on this one. The kits that I got these from, these 3D printed kits that I got, I'll share in a link in the description. It's by shoot, give me one. Here's another Jagdpanther, by the way. Oh, miniaturetanks.com or Miniature Tanks Company. I'll put a link in the description in case. And they have like American stuff. They have multiple companies for modern day. They have Cold War, and they have World War II and some World War One stuff. Most of the stuff they have is assembled, but I like the kits more so I can really get in there and try to paint, even behind the tracks and into nooks and crannies where I can it gives more like fun to it rather than just like a solid piece that I have to paint and be like really accurate as possible. And here's a Puma. This one was really fun. I did like the undercarriage for this thing. It was really fun to do the painting for this one. And I think I got to get back to that one and try do the vision ports and paint them black. Here's the Jagdpanther with the camouflage. I'm starting to do with the. It's like basically like a three-tone. You got the base color that a lot of tanks were painted in that color and that dark yellow, and then I did the brown and then the green to add more color. Here's the Puma. I already painted all the wheels. I did the green, brown, and the dark yellow so that they can be mixed matched around. It's kind of similar to a Kobe set that I got that I was going for with the camouflage, and I really like that camouflage pattern. Some people might be wondering, are you going to try and do other camouflages? And that's a maybe. The reason why is that it made me have to think a bit. But the main reason why is because I wanted to capture when this regiment or this battalion was captured. And what the captured battalion is going to be the RA medical regiment, and the number will be 323. And the reason why I chose that is because I like to play World of Tanks, and World of Tanks you can get like a military decal where some of them are numbers, and I'm like, oh well, 323 is an option, and the I can get like a sometimes they have a quote that you could put on tanks. They did this in World War II, and sometimes they have regiment markings, and they had like RA for the medical regiment. So I was gonna make this a medical regiment. So, oh yeah, if that big block we saw earlier, we're gonna get to that. Don't worry. But then here's the Puma done. I got some flat brown XF like 10 by Tamiya to paint the I think the carburetor, not the carburetor, the mufflers on the back of the Puma. I really like the Puma. I thought it was a pretty cool armor car to have in this regiment. I do have SDKFZ 222 or 221 armored car. That will come in a later video. And here's the undercarriage that I painted, and I was really happy what I did with the undercarriage. I did a mix of the flat brown and the gunmetal color, and the gunmetal color would be X10. I used that one, and depending on how much you shake the gunmetal paint inside the glass, you can like get more flakes in it, so be more shiny, or you can have it like less shiny, as if it was like weathered. You really got to play around with that particular paint on how well you want it to be. And here's a Panzer 4H. I know it looks funky. The reason why it's one of the earlier like kits that miniature tanks companies made out there. And here's another Jagd Panther. I got four Jagd Panthers, four Panthers. We're gonna get to the Panthers later on. Six E25s. I have six E100s. Two of them are without skirts. Four of them will be with skirts. And then I got an extra E100 that was partially assembled, and then I made that one a demonstrator or test grounds one. And here's some more like oh, those in the background we'll get to, and here it is glued together with. That took a lot of black paint to do that, by the way. That's a lot of XF1. That is a P1000 Land Cruiser, and that is indeed HO scale. All the stuff I'm doing is HO scale. All these tanks, and you'll see some of them are really small. The vehicles I've done, and this thing is just absolutely massive. And I brought it to my museum to display for a bit, a couple times, just to like kind of bring a stance to there. And some people ask like, hey, is that thing to scale? I'm like, yeah, that's how big that thing would have been. Only the turret in real life was built. They never made the chassis. And here's the amount of paint. That's like three like XF60 small ounce bottles. That took like pretty much three of them to complete it one later on. Here I'm doing the bottom where I do all the road wheels, and if you see on the inside, I even did the inside and the interleaved uh, wheels as well, even though it's just paint, on a solid black surface, pretty much, in between those road wheels. That took a lot of time, a lot of patience, and I obviously went back. And here's the camouflage one. I obviously went with the 1944, 1945 paint. This would have probably been I went a northern western front because that's where the plains of Europe is pretty much the northern part of Europe, the northern like the north coast of Europe. And here's the two mouse turrets on the back, already painted and not decaled. That's gonna take a while before I get decals, by the way. I'm pretty much just doing the painting first, and then I'm gonna get the decals so I can decal these, make them look real authentic. And then there's the Ostwind, not the Ostwind, the Whirlwind turrets, the anti-aircraft guns. I painted everything. I even painted the interior of the armor protection like a gray color, and then I did the gunmetal gray for the gun, and then I think the barrels are also gunmetal as well. And here's a half track, the SDKFZ 251. There was a couple versions. I got five of these with the machine gun shield poking out of the canvas top. Here's the last. I think this is the last Jagd Panther, and this one will have skirts. There's two of them that have skirts, two of them without skirts. With the Panthers, I'm going to do one with skirts and then three with skirts, just to add some more variety. But yeah, will I do more different camouflages? I might. But I'm not really doing anything with winter or anything unless I'm gonna do like a museum. But I don't really have room on my layout to do a museum. This is just for like something for me to bring out and just have it going in and out of a region. Here's the Panther tank being done. There's the tricolor camo, and there's a tracks done, and there's the half track. And with the half track, the color I used for that canvas top, I used this XF49 khaki. The khaki looks really good. It's really good for canvas. For any like military you want to do, like military country to do canvas top stuff. And here's the barrels. When I got this, unfortunately, they forgot to give me the barrels for this naval gun that goes on top of that P1000 Land Cruiser. So finally got those, and I was able to paint it. I did not take a picture of it finished because now it's completely finished with metalware. And right here, this is an E100. There's that. It's so wide. I'll have to double check the clearances when I do a test train on the museum layout to see how much clearance that thing has. I mean, there's it right next to a Panther. And I pretty much did some metalware with gunmetal gray. You'll see some other photos with it. And I didn't really do the gunmetal gray on the tracks this time because it's a like this would actually be in a museum, somewhere. And there's the roof of it. Like just the size of that thing is just enormous for even for HO scale. It's on a flat car. And then yeah, I mean I got so much more to do. I got some Krupp proteges. I got, if I can pronounce that correctly. Here's the other E100 with the skirts, and yep, that's getting that camo treatment like the other tanks. And I got Krupp proteges. I got some Opel Blitz trucks. I have to have normal stuff rather than just tanks, tank destroyers, and half tracks. All right, I gotta have like some more for the regiment. And not all the vehicles in the regiment are going to have camouflage, mainly the trucks. Probably the Krupp proteges because they didn't really have much camo. I'd probably still do just a dark yellow main body. And here's the finishing of the camouflage right there on those two vehicles. And there's size comparison with the half tracks. And that's pretty much it for now, guys. I'll do an update video later on. And this is Pensy Joe signing out again with Spoils of War military train, and I'll see you guys down the line in the next video. Bye now.
To the hill and by the shore, hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Now here's to Daddy Claxton, may his name forever stand, and may he be remembered in the courts throughout the land. When his earthly race is over, let the curtains round him fall. We'll carry him home to victory on the Wabash Cannonball. Oh, listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, as she glides along the woodland to the hill and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball.